Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is an English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzamansahebalahbadi, which took place on Thursday after the Magharib Salat at Masjid Bilal, Jamia Islamia bin Jari Mahu, Indore, MP, India. Thursday, the 18th of Zulqa'dah 1444, corresponding with the English date 8th of June 2023. Hazrat Walas starts off this majlis by quoting the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ad-deenu an-nasiha. Hazrat Wala says, friends, elders and beloved students, continuously here programs are carried out, deeni and ilmi, regarding our deen and ilm as well. Ulama continuously come. The students are also blessed, the common people as well, all in the name of deen. And mashallah, the people here, they are focused and their attention is there to learn. So for the khidmat of deen, hum aage, I have also come, and this is a majlis and mushawarat. Allah Ta'ala give us all the tawfiq and the hidayat of understanding our responsibilities. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab asked this police personnel, Daroga. He was in his uniform also. He asked him, tell me, what is the responsibility of the police? Ab wo kya jawab dete? Wo kya batlate? Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab himself gave the answer, and he said, Logo ke jaan wa mal ki hifazat kare. That they look after the wealth and the possessions, the possessions and the life of people. He then went on to ask him that what is the responsibility of the ulama? And then himself he gave the answer, Deen wa iman ki hifazat kare. That they look after the deen and the iman of people. You know this maqula of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala an, at the time when the people did not want to pay their zakat, etc. And what was that historic sermon or those lines that he uttered? Ayan qusuddin wa ana hay. Will any deficiency come in the deen and I am alive? Meaning I am the deputy of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and I am his Khalifa. So he had in his mind the responsibility of the Khilafat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam blessed him with. And he had such a type of a deep quest, desire, passion within him to complete this responsibility that was on his shoulders. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to just look at the walk, the body language of a person, and he would be able to tell so clearly. Maulana Ibadur Rahman, who was the Khalifa of Hazrat Maulana Shah Fadur Rahman Ganj Muradabadi, he was walking in the bazaar one day, and Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab passed by him. And what was his calculation when he came? He said, go and give this message. What was the message about? That from his walk, I understand this year that there is taqwa in his heart. There is taqwa in his heart. Now, buzurgon ke paas isiliye jaya jata hai. This is why we go to the buzurgan-e-deen, so that our hearts can become correct. Our hearts can become rectified. You know, there were people that came to a certain buzrug. The one person came there for ilm and knowledge. Another one came there to make objections. Nevertheless, this was opened up to that buzrug, and he remarked before they even could say anything when they came into his presence. He said, this person came with ikhlas, so most definitely he'll benefit. And he said, this person here has come so that he can make objections. He will not take anything with him. Therefore, Hazrat Wala then says, इसलिए बुजुर्गों के पास खुलूस से जाना. When you go to the Buzurgan-e-Deen, then go with sincerity. Go with purity. Go with the correct intention. Hazrat Wala even goes on to say that sometimes a person goes to the Buzurg. It can happen that the Buzurg has nothing, he's empty himself. However, due to the mere fact that the seeker, the talib, the disciple, that he goes with sincerity, Allah Ta'ala becomes so pleased with this that this person went to my banda all in the name so that he can get my recognition and this connection with me. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala most definitely then blesses that person, because Allah Ta'ala quloob ka ilm rakhta hai. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has the knowledge of the hearts. So niyatul mu'min khayrun min amali. The intention of a believer is even better than the act that he carries out. The smallest of amals that we carry out, the reward we will get it from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala has given us this post and position of being niyabat-e Rasul, the deputies of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So, the right of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the right of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the right of people. There was a Yahudi alim and he comes to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is speaking about making salam a custom, the beauty of salam in Islam. He leaves from that majlis and he says that this year cannot be anything other than the talk of a Rasul, because he is talking from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So our body language, our standing, our sitting, all of that is wa'iz on its own, and people are looking at us. Sayyid Ali Mahfuz writes in his kitab Al-Ibda' fi Madari al-Ibtida', he writes this there. The translation of this kitab has also taken place, it's translated. So Hazrat sunate rehte the, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to read from that kitab, particular kitab. So a person standing, sitting, he is walking, he is talking, all of it is also wa'iz, and it can be a great lesson for people. So what students, you have to start trying from now. Look at the sirat of our ulama. Allah Ta'ala has kept us in this golden chain and in the silsila. And remember, La yulhimuhu illa su'ada. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala does not give inspiration for all of this except to the fortunate ones. So when a person gets ilm jab aata hai, to amal ko pukarta hai. Then it calls and it summons up an amal. And when amal comes, it is then that ilm remains established and stays then forever. Otherwise, even that ilm leaves. Because that will be naqadri, and it will be against the grain of appreciation. That in the heart, सीने में ilm nubuwat, और करते हैं amal फासिक व फुज्जार. That in the heart there is the knowledge of nubuwat and prophethood. However, the actions are that of fusaq and fujjar. So a person has come to get ilm or for amal, or he's come to listen. So police. So he asked the police person that what is the duty of the policeman? What is the duty of the policeman? His duty is to look after the wealth and the lives of people. And the duty of the alim is to look after the deen and Islam of people. So why would people then not become disorientated, and why wouldn't evil thoughts come into their mind when an alim is not reading namaz, or he is reading salat but he's not punctual and meticulous of congregational salat with jamaat? Therefore, it is like an imtihan on its own, that people are watching your every naqal and harkat. What are you doing? So you have to become a role model. I have to become a role model. Allah Ta'ala has kept us in this position of niyabat and being deputies. So much that people should not become badzan of the deen because of us. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. There is a beautiful example for you in the Rasul of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I am talking about the sirat of the Akabirin. So this year what I am telling you, you will not find it in the Hashia of Bukhari Sharif. You will have to look at Amirul Riwayat. You will have to go through those kitabs. You know, when I went to Darul Ulum, I even said this there. So how will deen come? I spoke to them about the waqi'at, about Hazrat Tanvi, Hazrat Gangohi, etc. So deen, kaise aayegi? Deen will come about with Kitabullah, Sunnat Rasul and Sirat Salaf. The Quran, the Hadith, and in understanding that and how was Quran and Hadith lived, you will have to look at the lives and the Sirat of the pious predecessors. For that you will have to read it. You will have to understand their tawazu, their inkisari, their ajizi. You know, I just went to Nanotwa and I was there. That's the place of Hazrat Maulana Qasim Saab. And I told them that the Darul Ulum, Deoband, was not a name of that structure, the cement and the plaster and the bricks, etc. Rather, it was an embodiment of their character, tawakkul and tawazu. Hazrat Qari Tayyib Saab's father, Sheikh Ahmad, Hafiz Ahmad, he was taken by Hazrat Maulana Qasim Saab on one occasion on Safar. They were traveling and he hardly left, or he reached a certain place and he said, no, this is unbecoming. This is against the grain of tawakkul. So what did he do? He sent that son of his back, because he said when a child comes and people look at a child, they are so fond of children, and what do? They put something into the hands of the child, and he understood that to be against the grain of his trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that I'm going on safar, I'm taking this child with, it is as if I'm putting my trust in the hands and in the possessions of people, that they must give me, and I'm taking this child with. So what is that? So he abandoned that and he sent that child back home. On one occasion, Hazrat Maulana Qasim Saab was going, and from the back somebody saying, Mauli Saab, Mauli Saab, Mauli Saab, they're calling him, but he paid no attention whatsoever. The person then caught up with him and he said, but I'm calling you so long, trying to get your attention, Mauli Saab, Mauli Saab. So he said to him, but weren't you saying Mauli Saab? So he said, yes. And then he goes on to say, Main Mauli to kaha. Where am I a Maulvi? This was their tawazu, that this was his tawazu. He didn't even understand himself to be an alim. There were hundreds and thousands of people there. In fact, they even called the army, the police in to control the crowd. So according to the amount of knowledge you have, ilm jitna zyada hoga, itna hi jhukao zyada hoga. According to how high and how much of knowledge you have of the deen, that's how much of humility and tawazu you're supposed to have, you should have. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab on one occasion, when so many of the ulama of Deoband came, and he was addressing them, from amongst them was also Maulana Mi'rajul Haq, and he said to them that study the example of a tree, the branches of which are laden with fruit, how those branches bend down so much, because they have a great treasure of fruit on it. Just like that, the more ilm and knowledge a person has, the more tawazu, ajizi, inkisari, humility, expression of helplessness they should have within themselves. Otherwise, inna lil ilmi tughyanun ka tughyanil mal. Then, what will come with it? If we don't have the former, what I just mentioned now, then we will fall under the category of this hadith, that definitely for knowledge there will be rebelliousness, just like how wealth comes with rebelliousness. So Kitabullah, Sunnat Rasul and Sirat Salaf. Our Buzrugan Deen were continuously in ibadat. However, they had no riya whatsoever. Kun aliman, sir aliman, aw muta'alliman, aw mustami'an, aw muhibban, wala takunil khamisa fatuhlik. Become an alim. If not, at least a student. If not, any of the two categories, have the opportunity or come and sit and listen to them at least. If not that also, at least have love in your heart for this group of people. And remember, after that, there is no fifth category. If you go into the fifth category, you will be destroyed. So we are all in this motion of becoming alim, in this period, in this journey of becoming an alim. And in all of this, what happens if death comes? Then, we will pass away as muta'allim. So this here is from the ahadith. I am quoting this to you. Our mashayikh also, whatever they tell us, they were so muttabi'a sunnat. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his example, when he sees this youngster, little lad there, he could not carry this water skin. It was filled with water and he was taking it back home. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam picked it up, took it for him and put it right on the stoop and the veranda, due to which the youngster then pulled it into the house. When the parents seen this, they said, it's impossible. How did this child bring this? And he said, pointed to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and when they seen this here, can you imagine that? That was the tawazu of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that even doing menial works like that and helping people. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ana al-mu'tarifu bi dhanbi wa abtahilu ilayka ibtihal al-mudhnib al-dhalil wa ad'uka du'a al-khaif ad-darir wa ad'uka du'a man khada'at laka raghbatuhu wa fadat laka 'abratuhu wa dhalla laka jismuhu wa raghima laka anfuhu." So i'tiraf zunub, confessing and acknowledging one's sins in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is a great treasure. So students, from now we should understand this and we should practice on this here. On the ilm, understand the ilm and the knowledge of the ulama, our Buzrugan Deen, their amal as well, and try and bring their ahwal and their spiritual states within ourselves also. Hal paida karna, create the spiritual state. Anal mu'tarifu bidambi. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, al-ajzu fakhri. This humility, humbleness, expression of helplessness in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is my pride. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not say, al-ilmu fakhri, that knowledge is my pride. No. So for one long month, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab spoke on this particular topic. I even have put it into the book form, i'tiraf-e-dhunub. So, talib ilm, who's even in the first year, he must have that zeal, enthusiasm, that thirst to do what? To become an alim rabbani. This true alim that is, which is desired of us. Sayyid Raza Razvi, he came to Darul Uloom Deoband, he even came to Lucknow, and he mentioned one incident of a person who put up some structure and then people became doctors there and engineers there, this, that and the other. Time went on. But he said, if the person made niyat, then from there, there would have been great rewards as well. So, Allah A'lam. When Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself did not did not know that particular answer, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself waited for wahi from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nevertheless, this article and topic is very, very vast and wide. So, you are a person from this golden chain of Nubuwat. Ali silsila hai. It is a very high and golden chain. It links up right to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to quote so much of these letters of our Akabirin, which were filled with so much of humility, etc. जिसने मिटाया अपना नामो निशा हफ्त इक़लीम का बना सुल्तान. The person who erased his traces and his effects and everything about himself, he lowered himself, humbled himself completely, self-effacement. He became then the king. He became the most popular person. मैं अपना नाम और निशान मिटा बेटा. Hazrat Haji Imdadullah used to say that, listen, I humbled myself and completely and totally, I wonder who has taken my name and made me so popular. So there is no question ever about being proud and ananiyat, self-conceitedness here. In fact, ananiyat, because of this ananiyat, being self-conceited and me, this year was the reason of the destruction and the fall of Iblis and Shaitan. You know, on one occasion, Hazrat Mufti Mahmud Sahab was there also, Maulana Siddiq Sahab was there also, and I spoke about ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا وَإِن لَمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ, saying that this year was the style and the feature of our father Adam alayhi salatu wassalam. So should we not have this in us, this i'tiraf-e-dhunub? Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making amal on these ta'limat. So this nafs, when we come out of lawama and we come out of ammara and we come into mutma'inna, then we'll become deserving of being addressed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will say, Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna. Allah Ta'ala bless us with His pleasure and make this beneficial for all of us. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.